It's the Go Gopher Podcast with Mike Grimm, episode number 194. I am Mike Grimm, voice of the Golden Gophers, and welcome back to our podcast. The Golden Gopher men's basketball season tips off this coming Monday when Gardner Webb comes to Williams Arena, and excitement is building for the first edition of brand new coach Niko Medved's tenure at Minnesota. To help us preview and get some inside insight on the team and its almost all-new roster, we'll chat with one of the newcomers this week, guard Langston Reynolds, a senior transfer from Northern Colorado. You're going to enjoy hearing from him. Gopher basketball talk is coming up. Our Go Gopher podcast is presented by alumni-owned Sunbelt Business Advisors and True North Mergers and Acquisitions. If you're a business founder planning to exit your business, start by contacting Sunbelt Business Advisors and True North Mergers and Acquisitions. Sunbelt serves more businesses up to $5 million in revenue than anyone, and True North M&A serves companies with revenues up to $150 million. Get a confidential, no-cost, no-obligation business valuation started today. Make the most of your life's work. Visit sunbeltminnesota.com or tnma.com today. Longtime Gopher sports supporter Cub is also a proud sponsor of the Go Gopher podcast. In a hurry, don't worry, Cub delivers. Get fresh meat, produce, everyday essentials, and more delivered to your door. Cub is the official grocer of the Golden Gophers and proud to support Gopher athletics for over 20 years. Shop happy. The Go Gopher podcast is also presented by OnX Maps. Find out how to download the OnX Hunt app for free by listening to the Go Gopher podcast. We're podcasting episode 194 from the Aquarius Home Services studio. Also, our thanks to Affinity Plus for providing a gift card to Langston Reynolds this week. Affinity Plus, proud to support Gopher student athletes. We invite you to subscribe to the Go Gopher podcast. It's free to do so. You can also go back and listen to the Go Gopher podcast from previous weeks. Last week, for example, we talked Gopher football with the very energetic defensive end Jackson Howard in just a great conversation. Go back and have a listen. This week, it's Golden Gopher basketball with new guard Langston Reynolds. He'll join me next.
I'm Clay Geary, walk-on turned scholarship wide receiver for Gopher football.
And I'm Ben Utek, U of M alumni, Super Bowl champion, and Tony Dungy Uncommon Award winner.
We understand championship culture, which is why we're part of the True North family of companies.
True North invests in only elite teams, like the champion team at Sunbelt Business Advisors, Minnesota's largest seller of companies. To learn more about True North and our diverse family of independently owned companies, visit TrueNorthEquityPartners.com.
Know what the happiest bird is? Chicken. Cub fried chicken. Wait, let me rephrase that. Know what bird makes people happiest? Cub fried chicken. Crispy, crunchy, juicy, perfectly seasoned. It's the kind of chicken that disappears faster than you can say, 8-piece, please. Or, let's be real, maybe 12-piece. Because when it comes to fried chicken, more just means more happy. So if you're shopping chicken, shop Cub fried chicken and shop happy.
It's episode 194. Langston Reynolds, one of the new Golden Gophers on this new look roster for the Gopher men's basketball team, is our guest. He and I had a chance to chat briefly at the media day, and I remember when you, I think, were on your visit, and you were at a football practice at the indoor last year too, and that's when we kind of started to figure out that you might be a Gopher. So good to see you again.
Yeah, very nice to see you too. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, welcome to the podcast. Well, let's start by talking about the week coming up here. We're recording on Tuesday afternoon, now less than a week away from real gameplay. Gardner Webb comes to town, a 7 o'clock tip-off on Monday, November the 3rd. So what's your excitement level to I know you had two really good exhibition games, two nice wins. You were good in both of them. So what's your excitement level to get it going for real now?
Man, I think just any time to play in the barn is just obviously really fun. Just being with the guys, obviously playing against somebody, once again, it's not us, it's really good. But I think just, seeing the environment once again and just kind of taking each game that we're home, not for granted, just more time, I guess, with my team. That's really just what I look forward to, if I'm being honest, yeah.
What have you found so far? And we haven't, I suppose, really seen the barn get going. I mean, and it will, believe me, it will get going. But what's your impression been of Williams Arena in the two exhibition games, and then just as a spot to occasionally go over and practice and get shots up too?
Yeah, honestly, the past two games are probably my last school is just like whole capacity in the gym. So to me, it's crazy. It's like a championship game every game to me.
Yeah.
But I think just just seeing at least a good amount of people come out just for the exhibition, just to support us. And, like you said, I know it's going to get more people when they start seeing that we're winning and, how we play. And, how we play is fun. But I think just seeing more people in the community just really believe and trust in us is just going to be fun.
What was your were you nervous the first exhibition game when you came out? Did you feel calm? What was the emotion like? Because you and 12 other guys for the first time ever are playing in what would be, if not a scrimmage, a high level scrimmage, an exhibition game against some guys that are pretty good too.
Yeah, I would say I'm not really a very big nervous person, but I mean, obviously in this situation, yeah, I feel like before every game, at least a little bit nervous. Sure. Just not based on personal performance, just for the team. I mean, it's the first time really playing against somebody else. They have the same amount of film that we have for them, so it's kind of a lot of ups and downs. You don't really know what's going on, but I think just for the most part, I think we handled it really well. I think just our preparation before was really good, and I think this is going to be a really big thing for us throughout the whole year.
I was able to see the first exhibition game against North Dakota State. I will watch the one from Saturday, but I was down with the football team in Iowa Saturday, so missed you guys beating North Dakota, and you, of course, had a nice game, 17 points in that game. What take me through what was working for you? Was there open floor people? I got a little scouting report that you were really good in some open space and finding your way to the basket. So take me through what was clicking for you to get the 17 points.
Yeah, I think for me it was more just letting the game come to me. I mean, in the exhibition, I missed a lot of shots that I usually make, and I think just in the second game, that's just kind of what happened. A lot of same shots I shot in the first game just went down in the second game, honestly. I know my game. I know who I am as a person. I'll never try to step out of that. I think I just know my role for the team and just, I just accept as myself just what I can and what I can't do.
Yeah. Are there some things, I'm sure the coaches have things for you guys, but when we're 6 days out from the game, you've been with this group now for since June for many of you.
Yeah.
Are there some things you want to check off before Monday that that, hey, let's work on this, let's get a little better at this. If we really want to come out like a house of fire, this is what we might need to do between now and then, just a couple of things?
Yeah, I mean, obviously we're nowhere near where we need to be. I mean, it's still early in the season. If you are where you need to be, then you're just probably not going to be a good team, honestly. But I think for us, just, the mistakes that we had in the two exhibitions, kind of the turnovers were a really big deal, especially in this last one. I don't think a lot of people pay attention to, but obviously that's what we have to do. I think just getting in closer and closer to Monday, that's just something we really have to clean up. And then, just staying on the defensive glass, offensive glass, just the winning plays, I think is a big deal that we have to clean up.
How does Coach Medved handle, obviously you win. I mean, either way, it really doesn't count, but you want to win an exhibition. You want to win whatever you're doing. So you win by 20, but as you mentioned, there's 20 turnovers.
Yeah.
So how does he handle, hey, good job, guys, but
yeah,
here's some things we got to work on?
Yeah, I mean, it's an imperfect game, honestly. I mean, we're of course going to make mistakes. We're all imperfect humans, but I think for us, just obviously accepting the fact that yes, we won. It was a great game, but for us to get to the goal we're trying to get to, which is obviously win as many games as possible, go to March. Like, we all have goals. We need to worry about the things we're not doing right more than things that we are. And obviously it gives ourselves some grace, obviously, but I think just worrying about the mistakes more than all the great things that we're doing.
When there are things to work on, how does Nico Medved go about it? And I'm sure there are staff members that handle certain things too. What's your general sense of how they're able to get you guys going in the right direction and correct some of that stuff?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I think it's just everyday habits. They really talk to us about everyday habits and, things that we do in practice, carrying it as much as we can into the game. But, Coach Nico is he's very straightforward. He's a very honest person. And I think for us, just knowing that he's not going to just tell us something just to beat us down or, kind of make us take steps back. He's doing it because he knows it's going to help us win.
Yeah.
He talks about all the time just eliminating losing, and that's what generates winning.
Yeah.
So I think just us knowing that approach and the way he thinks is just really going to help us in the long run.
Have you had a moment or something where he's been frontal enough? Because you got to be honest, right, as you mentioned, where you're like, whoa, okay, he's serious. I better, handle something differently or do this better.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. I think for me personally, he's talked to me a lot, like, constantly just about my off-ball defense and just like, yeah, I'm really good on the ball, but just off the ball, like just taking that 1 second, even if it's not a big deal, just 1 second to relax, it could really just put me behind any play. But I think he's like that with everybody. Like just no matter, everybody's working on something different, but I think we all know our strengths and weaknesses and what we need to get better at.
And I'm not asking you to compare him with your past coach. Maybe all the coaches you've worked with. Is he more hands-on, would you say, or is he the same as most of your other coaches?
Yeah, I would say he's definitely more hands-on. He definitely explains a lot more no matter what drill it is. He always like has something to say or like wants to correct something to make sure that looks the way that he wants it to look. And, obviously that's just going to help us in the long run. I mean, he's very hands-on,
And how's the staff? You getting along with all the assistants and how all that's working? And it looks like I've been able to watch bits and pieces. It looks like they're meshing together pretty well.
Oh, yeah. No, I love the staff. I feel like they're always on the same page. They always want us to do the same thing, but they're also very just intent about the little stuff as well, just like the film, taking care of your body, which is going to be a big deal, especially when we get to Big Ten play. And then just winning. I mean, they're all winners. They all come from winning. They all know what it takes. So I think just having that understanding from the head coach and the staff just helps so much.
And I want to ask you, and I will here shortly, because you were on a pretty good team last year, speaking of winning, and we'll get to that in a moment. Yeah. But to kind of wrap up some of the exhibition stuff, with all the new players and everyone, all the fans are trying to, okay, now who's this guy? Who's this guy? The one guy now that people are talking about is Cade Tyson, because he had, 28 and 26 in back-to-back games. And again, I was at the North Dakota State game. He scored 11 straight, and the place was jumping. And what kind of player is he? What kind of player is he in practice? And is he kind of transitioning into maybe the go-to? Or I mean, I know it's early; it's not been a real game, but how do you foresee his game unfolding?
Man, Cade is a worker. I mean, he's always in the gym. He's always getting up those extra shots. No matter if we just had the most tiring practice plus lift and then film after, he's always finding a way to even get up some free throws. You know what I mean? So me seeing Cade doing what he's doing now, I expect it. He's been doing it since June. It's not like he's a very consistent guy on and off the court. It's not like, all of a sudden he's doing, you know what I mean? So, like, us, you guys are just now seeing it, but us, we've seen it since June. You know what I mean? So I think it's just all coming together for him, and I think he's doing an amazing job. And I can definitely see him being a go-to guy for us, too.
I'm putting it on the fact he was a guest on the podcast a few weeks ago. Yeah. I think that turned it around for him.
Yeah, I mean.
And now that you're the guest, who knows, you're going for, 24, 25 next Monday now that it's really good karma when you come on this thing, I'm telling you. Let's talk a little bit, too, about, you mentioned just the general transition, and I don't think it's going to be a one-man team. That's not why I singled Cade out. You guys have, a lot of new guys and a lot of weapons, so how do you foresee that whole mix? Like, is it going to be a team that that's going to be able to have Cade has scored 20 plus, but other guys that can put the ball in the basket and do some things on both ends of the floor.
Yeah, I think just as a team, we are very mature. I think we have a really good transfer class, but we also have some freshmen that really just understand the game. So I think for us, we just know that any given night, it could be any of us. You know what I mean? We all can score the ball. I mean, obviously, we all have the same amount of numbers, no matter where we came from. So I think we all know we can score the ball, but it's not really about that. It's just moving the ball, staying in the offense, making the extra play, like we're doing, especially in these past two exhibitions. And it's just going to get everybody so many open shots because we all can score the ball. So I think just for us, this is what we think about.
So if fans weren't able to catch the first two exhibition games, describe yourself as a player. What will fans see if they come out on Monday or watch on TV or on Monday?
Yeah, I mean, you're going to see a very two-way type of player. I mean, I'm a very defensive-minded type of guard. I'll guard anybody from the 1 through the 4. I'll get steals. I'll get out in transition. I'll hit the open three. I think for me, it's just doing whatever my team needs. I'm a very team guy. I'm trying to be the leader for this team. So I think it's just how my game is.
Yeah, and so you can understand the importance of defense then, as that can turn into offense as well. You get back-to-back stops, and pretty soon you can help the team control the game, right?
Exactly. That's just what it is.
What has been your key, do you think, to being a good defender?
Yeah. It's crazy, but, Coach Nico's been on me since June about this, but the off-ball defense. just being in the hot, what we call it the goalie, being in the goalie, just being in the gaps to just make it easier to raid the ball and go get those steals. And then once again, get out in transition, do what we love to do best, fill the corners, hit threes, get dunks. You know what I mean? Just, it's fun.
Yeah.
We have to approach defense like that. It's just fun. It's not tiring. I mean, it is, but at the end of the day, it's fun. It gets you excited.
Yeah, and obviously, as you are now getting ready to compete for a team in the Big Ten, it gets pretty physical. But I think by nature, you've used some physicality, right? I mean, that's been kind of one of your keys.
Yeah, I'm definitely a very physical guard. I love the contact. I love the versatility of whatever it may be of, playing a guy that's maybe not as aggressive, getting him in a little bit, and the guy that just loves whatever it may be, physicality, trying to get to the line, I embrace it. Yeah.
So at Northern Colorado Big Sky Conference, you guys were the champions last year. How physical was that league? Were you able to do a few things, or did you get in foul trouble sometimes because of the physicality, or were you able to manage that fine?
I would say I was able to do a little bit of both. I think more just knowing the little things, like the details of just how to guard somebody, knowing the scout, just being kind of just on-court general in a way, just like knowing what they like to do, what they don't like to do. I think that just helps you stay out of foul trouble and get those silly fouls and give them easy buckets, you know what I mean? Just something like that.
Yeah, for sure. And now, they let you bump and bang, but you have to, it is a night-to-night deal in the Big Ten, so I'm eager to watch all that, all the defensive guys and how that will work and then translate. Speaking of translate and transition, you guys most of you got here in June, right?
Yeah.
From your previous schools. We mentioned you were Northern Colorado, so take me all the way back to June and what the transition was like, getting to know your teammates. Was it a quick, like everyone clicked, or was it some meshing that went along the way? And how do you feel you're at now, and how much more can you guys grow?
Yeah, I mean, I would just say for me personally, the first week was very hard. Coming from Northern Colorado, I was with those guys for 3 years in a row. Didn't really, know anything new. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think just coming here was very different for me. And I think just guys like, Jalen Crocker and then Chauncey Willis and then Cade also just bringing us together to do the little things, like going out to eat, going to Blue Door, walking down the street, going to Canes, anything like that. That was just little, just really brought us together. And then Kai, he's a freshman once again, and he came a little bit later just because he had to graduate and do all that high school stuff, whatever it may be. But when he got here, he was just another piece of just like bringing the team together. I think we meshed really quick, especially in June. We hung out probably every day outside of practice or played the game or something little like that. Just really brought us together.
Yeah, and I suppose maybe on one hand, there are some teams that might have six or 7 guys coming back, and then you add 3 or 4, and then you're kind of meshing. But there's guys who know what's going on and guys who don't. There might be some benefit to everybody except for Isaac and Grayson. Everybody being new, you're all in the same boat. You're all meshing together at the same time, swimming upstream at the same time. Do you think there could have been benefit to that too? That you all were in the same boat?
Yeah. Honestly, I think we were all just looking for something new, and I think once we found the same amount of people that are, once again, they're really good dudes, really good people on and off the court. It just makes it easy. Like you said, you brought up Isaac and Grayson. They showed us the ropes. Like, we didn't know how to use red card. We didn't know how to go to the AV. They really showed us the right way. We didn't know we had to bring our card everywhere to get access. You know what I mean? So it's like they really brought us along too, and they were a really big part of that.
Yeah. So even the guys that the holdovers were helpers there for sure. Let me read a quick mention about the sponsor of one of the sponsors of our podcast, and then we'll continue here chatting Golden Gopher basketball. Hey, if you've ever driven past a piece of land and wondered who owns that, or maybe you need to know exactly where a property line runs, well, that's where OnX Hunt will come in. It's not just for hunters either. There are folks using that all over the country. OnX for their jobs every day, from farmers and ranchers mapping out their fields, wildland firefighters navigating rough terrain, construction workers needing to know where property lines start and stop. This app offers something for everyone. If you need the best land ownership map, aerial imagery, and property boundaries in your pocket, it's OnX Hunt from OnX Maps. That is the tool for the job. And you can try it for free for 7 days. Download OnX Hunt in the app or Google Play Store, or visit online to download it at onxmaps.com/hunt. Hunt. You mentioned 3 years at Northern Colorado, so the decision to transfer, and get out of your comfort zone a little bit, because you won the conference championship last year, is probably going to be another good team this year. So first of all, just take me through all the way back to deciding, am I going to stay with this group and try for better things, or am I going to test myself and advance up a level and see what my skill level's like competing in the Big Ten?
Yeah, I mean, I think for me it was a really hard conversation. I had gotten attention from the first game of the season just because, I played really well, and then it was just consistent. My coach, I love Coach Smiley. He was very honest with me and just like telling me just stay present and everything will take care of itself. And then it got to that time in spring. We had just won, which is a really big deal. We lost in the conference championship, but to a really good Montana team. And then, ended up going to NIT, was first in school history, so it was a big deal. He kind of told me just to take a couple days, after we lost to NIT, take a couple days, just think about what you want to do. And, he just told me no matter what you do, I'll love you for it. And, ultimately, I think just for me in my career, it was best for me to just try to, bump up another really big level.
Yeah.
And then, he supported me throughout the whole decision. And then, I got into meeting Coach Nico. I knew him a little bit before because, I'm a Colorado guy. He was in Colorado. And then I saw he's getting the Minnesota job, and I know how they play. Once again, me and him played. It's 1-1.
Yeah, I was going to say, you do have a win on him,
yeah,
right?
I do, yeah.
Do you remind him?
Yeah, every day. In Moby. I beat him in Moby at their place.
Right,
yeah.
that was that 2 years ago, right?
Yeah, I was a freshman. Yeah,
and that was a good Colorado State team.
It was,
and you got them early in the season.
I did.
Pretty good. So you knew of the style. You knew that they win. Mm-hmm. And so how did the connection then kind of hit? You enter the portal, and they reached to you, or you reached to them and expressed interest?
Yeah, so they were still in the tournament at that time. They were a really good tournament team. And I had entered the portal, I think, 2 days after I had opened or something like that. And then I had a lot of schools, texting me, whatever it may be. And then Coach Cooley, the assistant coach, he texted me and was like, hey, let's get on a Zoom call tomorrow morning. I said, of course. Yeah. And we got on a Zoom call. And then the next day, it had a really good Zoom call. The next day, I talked to Coach Nico and the whole team again, and I committed on the spot.
Yeah.
I had the feeling. You know what I mean? When you know. I didn't even have to see campus. I didn't have to do any of that. I just knew I wanted to play for Coach Nico and the Golden Gophers, honestly.
Yeah, so you were on your visit when we saw you over at the football. We're recording on campus here, so just over at the football thing. Mm-hmm. But by that point, you had already committed, so you're just kind of now getting shown around the place.
Yeah, knowing what it looks like. And I didn't know how close it was to anything. It just kind of took a chance. But, it's working out really well for me so far.
And share what you want, but what were, if you want, other schools, who else was kind of in the mix? Was it a hard decision, or was this once you saw these guys on the Zoom, you were ready to roll?
Yeah, I mean, I would say most of my recruiting was from Big Ten schools and SEC schools. Those were the two leagues that really just looked for me, especially because my game just fits both of those, which is it was pretty easy.
Yeah.
But I think when Coach Nico, his first conversation with me, he was very truthful and just telling me, man, I'm not going to sell you. I'm just going to tell you the truth, and then we're just going to go from there. And it was the most honest conversation I think I had throughout the whole portal process.
Yeah.
And after that, I just knew.
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew I wanted to be here.
And here you are.
Yeah.
What have you thought of Minneapolis, the city itself?
It's great. I mean, it reminds me a lot of Denver, honestly, where I'm from. So it's really nice. I'm a downtown kid, so I love the busyness, the traffic, the big crowd, you know what I mean? So I think just coming here and then seeing the environment, it was a little different.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously I came from Greeley still, but I think just being here, I really adapted quick. And once again, thanks to Isaac and Grayson. They showed me around campus. They showed me how to get to my classes. So, I mean, I think I adapted pretty quick.
I was going to read here, Northern Colorado, your freshman year, 1.7 points a game.
Yeah.
Okay. Sophomore year, 6.2 points a game. All right, good step.
Yeah.
And then last year, 16 points a game. So as you progressed, what about your development clicked, that it was just a improvement, really looked like constant improvement?
Yeah. I think for me, it was never what I was doing on the court. Obviously, you got to put in the work, you got to do your time. I think for me, it was more just a mental click. of just, I had a couple really good games into my sophomore year. Started scoring 16, then that. And then I think after that I kind of just knew I was going to be a really good player. And just kind of knew I need to have the confidence in myself to just take that next step and just be consistent. I think for me it was just consistency and then just the mental of everything.
You said you mentioned you got to play in the NIT, but you're one game away from being in the dance, right? So take me back that night of the dream for everyone is to get into the big dance. So you mentioned Montana's a good team, and I don't mean to bring it up but I'm just curious about the emotion of that night. Having it right at your fingertips, and then having it snatched away, so to speak. Yeah,
that was a big night, especially not just for me, but from the program. We had never been to the dance ever. Like, that would have been the first time in school history. We were right there, down the whole game. We weren't playing our best, honestly, but I think for us it was more just keep going. This is the last game. Like, we have to figure it out. And then we get the game to 3. I think it was about 2 minutes left, and I just remember they hit this tough 3 from the top of the key with like 2 seconds left on the shot clock, and that was the dagger.
Yeah.
It was just, I remember it like it was yesterday, and it was just that one shot. It wasn't open, it was contested, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was just
everybody did everything they should have,
and it just didn't work.
And it was bad luck. And then you get the consolation, you get to the NIT, and that had to be a good experience too.
Yeah, it was great, finally playing another team that was out of our conference.
Yeah.
It was really nice, but I think it ended the way it was supposed to. I think we all just were grateful that we had another opportunity to play together, and I think I still talk to those guys every day. Those would definitely be my family for life.
Yeah. And nowadays in this new age of transfer portal and guys going to 1 or 2 or 3, or there's been we've had guys in the Big Ten where I'm getting ready for a game and it's like, oh, he's on his 5th school. Okay. Oh, and this guy's on his 3rd. And Gophers had some guys last year on the roster were at the 3rd or a 4th school. So, which is fine, right? Everyone gets to experience everything.
Yeah.
So now you get to a chance here for your second school. But I've asked some guys this, like, for example, Max Brosmer, the Gopher quarterback last year, and he's now with the Vikings.
Mm-hmm.
And he was 4 years, actually 5 years at New Hampshire, and that's where he holds his degree. He took some coursework here for that last year, and he's like, I really have 2 places to go visit now. When it's homecoming at New Hampshire, I'm going to go visit. I'm going to stand out there with the letterman. I'm going to wave. I'm going to wear my letter jacket. And when the Gophers have their alumni day for football, and he's been here, I think, almost every home game because he's local. Do you have a similar feeling about Greeley in northern Colorado, and hey, when they're ready for alumni, whenever it is, 10 years from now, 12 years from now, that you might pop back in and wave to the crowd and talk about and remember your times there too?
Yeah, for sure. I think for me that was home for 3 years. That was the places where I had the good nights, the bad nights, the late night shootings in the gym. The reason why I'm here is because of Northern Colorado.
Yeah.
And I don't take that for granted. So for sure, I would be there if, they would obviously love to have me, and I would be there for the football games, the basketball games, whatever the case may be. But yeah, I would say I have 2 places that are home.
Yeah. So it's kind of this new age. You got some cool things that you've got 2 families almost, right?
Yeah.
Of athletic families anywhere where you're able to do that. You mentioned you're from Denver, and there's some similarities to Minneapolis. Take me through your high school career, and you played some football too, right?
Yeah.
So take me through your Denver high school career.
Yeah. So I thought I was gonna go to the NFL since I was like in 2nd grade. I thought I was gonna be the best.
Was football your number 1 sport growing up?
I was gonna be the best, next Calvin Johnson or Rob Gronkowski in the NFL. That was my goal. And then I touched the basketball the first time around the end of 7th grade, going into 8th grade.
So you hadn't played basketball up until 6th or 7th grade?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So I picked it up for the first time. I remember getting my first layup. I was just like, man, this is fun. And then running back, playing it was just at the best time. And for me, I didn't want to play 2 sports in high school. That was insane to me. I just didn't understand it. So for me, going into high school, I had to pick, because in Colorado there's 2 big high schools, one for basketball and there's one for football.
No kidding.
You had to pick between the 2. And for me, I just felt like in the long run, I had more opportunity and more chance of growth in basketball. So for me, I chose basketball right before high school. And I ended up going to the best high school in the state, started my first 2 years on varsity, and then COVID hit, which is it was a big deal.
Yeah.
And it was hard. I didn't know what to do. I thought my recruitment was going to be done. I thought I made the worst decision ever. And then one of my old AAU coaches that I played for in AAU for 8th grade, he hit me up and was like, hey, I'm starting a prep school. And I'm like, oh, that could work.
Yeah.
Like, that's going to be great. So I decided to go to prep school my junior year of taking just the chance of this new Colorado prep school, and we don't know what's going to happen, but it's the best chance for me. And it worked out amazing. I wish I would all 4 years for prep school, even to this day.
Yeah.
So I went there my last 2 years, and I ended up signing with Northern Colorado, I'd say right before my senior year season started.
Yeah, and then as we had documented the progress from there, I noticed in a write-up earlier that you are a Jimmy Butler fan.
Oh, yeah.
That's your favorite player?
Oh, yeah.
What and wherever he plays, that's your favorite team?
Wherever he goes, he goes.
So
right
you're
now,
a
I'm a
Warriors guy.
fan right now.
I was wondering with the Nuggets, was that home last night, Nuggets and Wolves? You're not a Nuggets guy?
No, I'm not.
Even though you're a Denver guy.
Yeah.
Now, if Butler goes to the Nuggets, then
I'm a Nuggets
now
guy
you're a
now.
Nuggets guy.
Yeah.
What was the
go.
enticement on Butler? What do you like about him?
I honestly just love the way he thinks about the game. And just seeing all the documentaries, just more about who he is as a person. And I think he just has this great thinking about life and people, and just, why would I care about what you think about me? You're not me. You know what I mean? Like, you don't know what it's like to be me on a daily basis. So I think just seeing that and the way he plays the game, he's one of the best, I think, ever to do it. I mean, Miami Heat Jimmy was the guy.
Yeah.
Playoff Jimmy.
We had him at the Wolves for a while.
Yeah.
You know?
When he was here, I was here. When he was with the Bulls, I was here.
Yeah. Is that right?
Yeah.
When you mentioned one of the first things you said when I asked you about in fact, it was the very first thing I said when describe yourself as a player. You said you're a very two-way player.
Yeah.
And Butler might be the best two-way guy in basketball, right?
For sure.
At least a top 10 kind of offense, defense, rebound, you name it, he can do it.
Yeah. No, for sure.
You kind of pattern your game after him a little bit? Or
I
try to?
wouldn't say pattern, but, just definitely his mental side of the game, I think I really took a bigger step on. But I think just the way that he approaches each game is really good to me.
Yeah, and he is he's got to be one of the top handful of competitors, right?
Yeah.
I mean, nobody competes like that guy.
No,
he just will do whatever it takes to win. So I've kind of liked watching him too. He had a little controversial exit here with not getting along with some of his teammates and everything else. But yeah, he was with the Bulls, right? And then they traded him here and then
the
worked his way out.
Teams,
And so are the Warriors going to be pretty good this year?
Yeah, I mean Jimmy and Steph. I mean, it's
pretty good combo.
You gotta say Draymond too.
Yeah,
I guess. But those guys they'll take us to the promised land, I think.
Do you get the NBA ticket? Do you watch a lot of NBA games?
Yeah, I think NBA is kind of going towards the down slope. But
really?
I think college is definitely where I watch the most.
You'll watch more college hoops than pro hoops. Gotcha. Interesting. And what else do you do in your free time? Video? Do you do video games? A lot of guys come in and do video. A lot of guys will, go watch music, go out to eat. What are some things you like to do?
I play a little bit of video games in and there, but I'm more of like a TV show guy. I love TV shows. Like, I love being at home. Just
all right, so we got to give us a top, a top Langston Reynolds top 5 TV shows that you're watching.
Number 1, the greatest show of all time, in my opinion, is You on Netflix. I love it. I think it's the most greatest show on the planet.
Okay.
Number 2, Game of Thrones.
You're prepared. You knew.
Oh,
you didn't know I'd ask you this, but you know it.
I'm ready.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm ready. 3, this might be kind of controversial, but I like Grey's Anatomy. Number 3.
That thing's been on for like 25 years.
And people still love it to this day.
Yeah.
It's consistent.
Have you watched all the seasons?
Yeah. Yeah.
And is it still a show? Is it still live? Oh, man. So that is a long time.
Yeah. Number 4, Hell's Kitchen.
Okay.
Hot take.
Yeah.
Hell's Kitchen.
That's a good show.
Yeah.
Is that Gordon Ramsay?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Gordon Ramsay.
Yeah. He doesn't mess around.
No.
I think if he'd be a heck of a basketball coach. He would demand excellence.
Yeah.
I mean, if you watch him ridicule someone who doesn't cook a pork loin right, you got to figure if a guy doesn't rebound right, he'd be all over him, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
All right, so number 5,
Stranger Things.
Oh yeah,
it is a very under talked about show, and I think it deserves more credit.
Yeah. I have not watched most of those, but I don't watch a lot of TV. I wish I had more time to do that, but I have. I've heard good reviews on all, so I think you got a nice list there.
Thank you.
Very good. Well, we will. It's your off day, so we appreciate you spending some time with us on your off day. We'll let you get back to. Are you in the middle of one now that you're just experiencing for the first time? Any shows or any series?
Honestly, no. I'm more of a rewatch type of guy.
Yeah.
I love rewatching the same shows.
Is that right?
Yeah, I'm very consistent with that.
Yeah.
But I don't know. We'll wait. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
You got Monday to worry about first.
Yeah.
Gardner Webb in town.
7
o'clock, gophersports.com for tickets. Hey, it's been great getting to know you, Langston Reynolds. Thanks so much. Thanks for coming on the show, and we'll look forward to seeing you on Monday night at Williams Arena.
For sure.
All right, there he is. It's Langston Reynolds, and it's episode 194. My thanks to Golden Gopher basketball guard Langston Reynolds for spending time with us this week on the Go Gopher podcast. I hope you enjoyed hearing that conversation as much as I enjoyed being a part of it. Gopher basketball again starts on Monday, Minnesota and Gardner Webb at Williams Arena. Episode 194 is presented by Sunbelt Business Advisors and True North Mergers and Acquisitions. If you're buying or selling a business, visit sunbeltminnesota.com or TNMA.com. Cub is a proud supporter of Gopher Athletics for over 20 years and a proud supporter of the Go Gopher podcast with Mike Grimm. Cub, bigger savings on the items you love. Shop happy. OnX Hunt also sponsors our show, Happy Hunting from OnX Maps. Again, I'd invite you to listen to past podcasts, and please be sure to click that subscribe button right now to the Go Gopher podcast. It's free to subscribe and free to listen at any time. And please share the link to the podcast with others so they can subscribe and listen as well. And if you enjoyed the podcast, please let us know with some positive feedback on your social media channels. We'll talk again next week.
Know what happy is? Veggies. Crunchy, crispy, colorful, seasonal, aromatic, juicy veggies. Produce at its freshest. Cub produce. Best produce, period. Guaranteed to make you happy or will replace it. No questions asked. Because good produce makes veggie lovers happy. Just remember, fresh, happy. Stale, limp, and wilted, not happy. You want to make a veggie lover happy? Shop Cub for produce. And shop happy.